And back to our regularly scheduled program. Where I left off was the spiritual breakthrough. I didn't forget. Absolutely. It all began when I started to ask for two things. I kind of whittled down my values to two things, the core things that I wanted to be about. And I requested wisdom and healing. I remember that specifically. I said those two things. I could figure the rest out. Of course, I already have my faith, so that's a no-brainer. But what was revealed to me was that I had to do two things. I first had to identify and acknowledge the pain, maybe three things. Identify and acknowledge the pain that I had buried deep within me. So I had to bring it to the surface, allow all those emotions to be experienced, process them, which took years. Okay, so this isn't like a fast process. This isn't a fast process by no stretch of the means. Deal with those emotions. And then I also had to really take a deep look into the heart of who I was. Everything, morality, character, femininity, womanhood, in totality, and not look at myself through other people's eyes and how they see me or how I think they see me, but really like all those hidden parts that we try to hide away from, even ourselves. We're like, no, we don't want to admit that we're a jerk, but we are. We kind of are. So yeah, some ugly stuff came up, and like I was looking over the list, and I'm so embarrassed to even like mention some of the things, but I will. I mean, I was deeply insecure, hurt, afraid, angry. I was just doing some like willful, ignorant stuff of like letting people treat me a certain way, not sticking up for myself, very unstable, even partly delusional in some cases. And it was a lot to really surface and bring up and be honest about and look at and say, like, this is a part of my fabric and I don't like it and I want to get rid of it. So that was it. And then it wasn't until about last year where God was like, drop the baggage. Let's process all of the traumas you've had in your life, from the childhood, the discoveries, the experiences, from the military, PTSD, racism, sexism, the systemic patterns that continue to go on to this day. And then like, he also told me I had to leave home because there's just like, you can't grow with people that you're familiar with, right? It just doesn't work. So I was stretched to test my faith and come out here to LA and wait for my next set of marching orders, and I can't wait to share more on that. But the biggest challenge by far was realizing that I still had some arrested development, right? Like I had unstable emotions like a toddler. I wasn't coming into my full womanhood, my femininity, mainly probably because I wore boots and uniforms most of my life. But there were just things that I was noticing. I wasn't defending myself. I was allowing for bad behavior, letting people do bad things, financially, whatever. And it was just like, stick up for yourself, say something, like this kid in you is still kind of like repressed. And I was not aware either of how I was responding in the world. I didn't know how I was coming off, and I had to look at myself for who I really was and how I was presenting myself on a daily basis to people. And I absolutely I didn't like it. But I knew enough that I had to heal my inner child, the youthful side of me, the parts that were hurt, insecure, before I could progress and move on and let her go ultimately and step into my full self. So there were about 3 things that ultimately changed. It just like rewired everything. I mean, I learned not only learning about neuroplasticity, but then learning more about stillness and then breath work and the healing of when you're at dis-ease, you got to get through that. So those were like the three things that I noticed, like the breath work, stillness, and healing are like the trifecta for any foundation for transformation. But I'm happy that I got to document it, and I hope I get to share more with you guys on kind of what it looked like, and I get to share with some ladies. I'm doing a retreat in May down in San Diego, so I'm really looking forward to that and sharing with them. And you guys are always welcome to join me here in solidarity. Show your support. I'll be doing meditation, and you're more than welcome to join the journey with me as well, right? But you have to kind of like go in it knowing one thing, that you can't think about what other people think about you, because it's going to look crazy to them. And I'm sure, I always look crazy, but I'm sure last year I looked so crazy. I was just doing all kinds of stuff. People were probably like, what? But I was fleshing it. I was working it out. So, you're always free to jump in. I'll be doing some meditations. And yeah, if you're ready, like, let's do it. If you have any more questions, send me a message and I'll respond. I hope that helped. And thanks for listening. All right. See you soon.